Bitcoin is painting nothing new. We already knew that Bitcoin has to go down to the 60-day cycle low and then jump from there up. Bitcoin is behaving a little bit weird, right? It went to the $74,000 and now it's kind of saying, okay, now I'm ready to go up. In reality, I don't believe this Bitcoin pump. I want Bitcoin to continue going down, make a low at the end of the month, and from there start a positive price action into the mid of June, where we're going to see a final top of this bearish leg. Then we're going to roll over and we're going to go down to below $50,000 and maybe even $40,000. Now you will think, whoa, how do I know all of this information? We're going to talk about cycles and cycle indicators just in a moment. Basically, cycle indicators are telling you exactly, precisely what is going to happen next. If they are pointing down, the market is pointing down. And when they're going up, the price is also going up. So you can actually time the movements in the market. You don't have to hodl. You don't have to use any other strategies. You simply time the moments. If the market is going down, you short. And if the cycle indicator is going up, you basically long the market. As simple as that. I have a small long position in Ethereum. I'm going to explain why I believe Ethereum more than Bitcoin. Take a look at the cycle indicators at the bottom of the screen. You see this 3-day cycle, pretty overstretched. When it's overstretched this way, then usually we see a positive price action. So I actually believe in Ethereum more than I believe in Bitcoin. However, I don't think that we reached that final bottom just yet. I believe that we're going to fall even more just because this 1-week cycle indicator is telling us so. We can see many similar situations that happened before. Sometimes this 3-day cycle can get overstretched, and then we have a bunch of zigzag pattern at the bottom. Once the 3-day cycle says, okay, now I'm going to go up, you want to be in the market, because the market then continues up. You don't have to second guess. You simply follow these cycle indicators and they tell you exactly what is going to happen next. If you want to get access to these cycle indicators, you have to go to this website right here, strategymaster.io. That is a website where I publish cycle analysis, talk about cycles, and I tell you what cycles are shown for each specific asset. Sometimes we're trading gold, sometimes we're focusing on crypto, and sometimes we're actually focusing on stocks. In order to get indicators, you have to click subscribe. We have to get a premium subscription, which costs €43 or $49 per month. You get a subscription and you get unlimited access to all these cycle indicators. It's not only that, we have a bunch of smaller time frame cycle indicators, which are telling you how to actually get quick in and get quick out of the market and make small marginal gains worth a couple of percent that basically they can change the way how you see the market and how you can invest in the market. So yes, Bitcoin is at these crossroads where I want to see Bitcoin slightly lower at the end of the month. Same for Ethereum before we actually continue higher. I'm holding both long and short position. So again, if the price is going to jump from there, I'm going to close my long. I'm going to wait for that retracement down. And if we're going to simply crash down right now, we're going to be super overbought on the 3-day cycle. I'm going to close the short and I'm going to increase my long. It's a situation that is more difficult to trade. However, that is why we use these smaller time frame indicators. And again, look at the bottom of my screen, you will see a bunch of indicators. And you will ask yourself, what the heck is going on? Why do I have so many indicators right now on the screen? Basically, if I want to know where the market is going next, I have to have them on the screen. Let's take a look at them one by one. At the bottom, you will see the wave trend indicator. It's indicating that on the 1-hour time frame, we're currently getting into the overbought territory, which means there is potentially some upside left, but it's very limited if we're talking about 1-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame shows the same day price movements. Here we have the 1-day cycle. The 1-day cycle shows us how the price can move within a week. We made the bottom last Monday. Right here, we even had the buy signal, but nothing happened since last week. So you see, for these 7 days, we are stuck in this box right here and nothing is happening. And you might think, is it distribution? Is it good or bad? Well, I would say that it is more bad than good. The reason is we have a cycle indicator which is pointing up. This is when you want to be in the market. It is going to reverse tomorrow or after tomorrow, basically Tuesday or Wednesday. And when it's going to reverse, obviously the price is going to follow down. That happens every single time. See right here, we made a bottom right here and this indicator started to go up. The price followed. When it tops, the price drops. In some cases, we can have a situation where basically the indicator is going up, but the price is not going up. Hard to find a situation like this, to be honest. But we have, for example, we have this price went up by just a couple of percent. But once we topped, the price immediately resulted lower. So this is basically what happens, right? Now, having in mind this information, we can basically take a look at smaller cycles. We can take a look at 12-hour and 8-hour, they're showing the same thing. So we're going to eliminate those two. The 2-hour and 4-hour, they're showing you short-term movement, the intraday movement. In intraday movement, it's very clear. Monday is the top. So today we're going to top. on the 2 hour and the 4 hour. This guy is going to go up. This guy is going to get overstretched. That's that. So basically what it's telling me today that most probably Bitcoin is going to go up, potentially retest the upper range of this box, and then it's going to get rejected lower. That is what I expect from the market. And that is why I'm going to increase my short position tonight and Monday. Once this 2-weekly cycle indicator tops, basically goes above 80, 85, and then starts curling down. Now, if I take a look at SPX, basically same thing. We are topping on the 1 week. I don't really want to be investing in stocks right now. I still expect stocks to perform relatively okay over June, doing a zigzag pattern, going a little bit up and a little bit down. But I don't want to risk my portfolio just to get this 4 or 5% gain that is still possible in the market. However, what is actually very interesting is the TLT, the 20+ year Treasury bond ETF. This guy is very interesting to me. And look, what happened basically, Treasury bond yield was kind of a safe place where you back your money when you don't know what's going to happen with the economy. It exploded up in the last 18 years. It went up by 100%, plus giving a yield every single year. Now, this yield was not big, but it dramatically increased in the last couple of years. Bonds currently give roughly 4.5% yield, which is not that bad, knowing that Bitcoin is not doing anything. Stocks are most probably not going to do anything. Gold and silver also is retracing from that high. Now, again, I wouldn't simply enter into the market for any ETF if I just see 50% crash, because bonds can continue crashing down. But what I do, I put cycle indicators. Let me put 3 cycle indicators right now. And let me put the long-term cycle indicators, not only the short-term, but also the long-term. I'm going to use the 1 month, the 3 month, and the 6 month. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is an ultimate signal for me to enter into the TLT ETF, because all these indicators are showing the bottom. And this happens once in a couple of years. Last time it happened in September 2018, when the 6-month cycle actually fell to the buying zone. 1 month reversed and 3 months reversed up as well. This was the situation. After this situation, bonds actually went up by 40% within just 1.5 years. Better than Bitcoin, better than stocks. Obviously, when we are at the cycle highs, like we are here, or we are here, then the bonds are actually going down. However, you have to see the velocity of how quickly we go down and how quickly we go up, okay? Why? Because here we made a top, and here we're now making the bottom. The difference between those is very small. So usually when the difference between top and bottom is pretty small comparison to what happened previously, it means that we are now in the transitional period from bearish to bullish. And from here, I would expect more positive price action. So not only I'm going to get paid yield every single year, I'm also going to play on the upside, which may be going to give me 20-30% this year, I hope, and definitely going to be better than Bitcoin. So you want to use the cycle indicators to actually know exactly what's going on. And you can put any asset. Now I'm putting TLT just because I invest in TLT. I see a lot of value in there. I can also take a look at the silver market and see, okay, what's going to happen with silver? Looking at these cycle indicators, I can clearly see that 1 month wants to push the price higher. So within the next few months, potentially up until August or September, we're most probably going to rally higher, not necessarily above the all-time highs. I don't think we're going to go to the all-time highs. But look, 3 months and 6 months are clearly showing that we have to go down. So we're going to go lower. At the end of the year, I want to see silver closer to $40. This is where I'm going to be interested into a bigger position. Cycles are simply telling us where the market is going next. And there are very, very few indicators that are telling you what can you expect from the future. Most indicators are simply lagging indicators, and they're just showing what happened in the past. So again, if you want to get access, or if you want to understand how this cycle works in details, you have to go to Strategy Master and read the previous articles. Read the article that I just published a couple of days ago. We talked about the bull market of cryptocurrencies and how easy it was actually to invest between 2022 and 2025. Roughly anything where we threw our money went up, except some altcoins. Bear market is the exact opposite. We have to be very calculated with our investments. So why would you be investing in Bitcoin when you know that the market is actually playing against you? You might want to find an asset that has the cycle indicators closer to the bottom rather than the top. Forget Bitcoin for a while, forget stocks for a while, and take a look at alternative assets. TLT is just one of the assets that I'm investing in. If you want to know more how I position my money and how I find these little gems, you want to join my Telegram community. And to do that, again, you have to get a subscription right here at Strategy Master. You click gift a subscription or simply subscribe at the top right. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you got some useful information from this video. Don't throw all your money into the market right now, because the market is very, very dangerous. I want to see more downside ahead of us. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.